So I love vintagey stuff. So there's a play called You Can't Take It With You. And my mom introduced me to that play. And I saw it the first time on PBS, I think, years and years ago. And so I live in North Hollywood now. And when Antaeus was in North Hollywood, they did that play. And I was like, oh my God, my favorite play. So I went and saw it, and I just loved the production. It was in this intimate space, so it had this beautiful, intimate feel, and that play is running around, up, down, upstairs, downstairs. There's explosions and all this stuff, and I just fell in love with how they did it. And from there on, and my friends were in it, and so from there on, I always kind of paid attention to what they were doing. And then over the years, it's always been proximity, just going to watch things, and I'd never applied for anything. And then during pandemic, they had some openings, and I applied, and I was like, oh my gosh, now I'm a part of it. And the zip code plays, again, because I love this vintagey thing, I love radio plays. And then I was like, oh, I want to do that so badly. And then I just, I got super fortunate and was chosen to be a part of it. But they've been a part of my theater going experience probably since I've been here. I came here in 2004, so around, that time, I'll say. I became involved with the Antaeus Playwrights Lab during pandemic, and it's one of those things where, for me, I mentioned that I end up producing a lot of my own work. So as my career in Los Angeles sort of took its journey, I sort of stopped applying for things. I just started to feel like it wasn't for me, and as a Black woman, sometimes I just felt like my voice wasn't wanting to be heard, or I just sort of got discouraged. And so that's why I really started producing my own things. So during pandemic, I had a shift in myself, and I'm like, if you don't participate, how can you, if you don't try, how can you participate? And so I saw that, that they were having an open submission or something like that. And so I gave it a shot, and I'm really thankful that I was chosen to be included and to be a part of their voice and part of their, I'll say, movement. I feel it as a movement because they do a lot in the community, in my opinion, and give voice to a lot of different people. So I wanted to be a part of that, and a lot of my friends are involved, whether actors or whatnot. So I just felt like I wanted to be in there with them. But pandemic was really a shift for me, where it's like, no, just stop being on the sidelines, what I consider the sidelines, even though I'm busy with my own things, but stop being on sidelines and put your voice out there so you can speak. I would say the Antaeus Playwright Lab is important to them and to the community because there are a multitude of voices. Now, again, I'm new, so I'm less than a year old in it. And I say that because I think it's also been communicated that they are going through a change of being inclusive and really trying to make a concerted effort to make change. So that reason alone is huge, and it just actually gives me chills to actually be a part of it at this time. So I believe, before the mission, this is still part of the mission, but it was more about classical work and, like Shakespeare will say, and you could have a Shakespeare play with a diverse cast, but it still wasn't necessarily, it's still Shakespeare, it's still the same stuff. And not necessarily saying anything, new, I'm generalizing here, but I think that they are really making a movement towards speaking differently. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about being a part of it. I'm excited about supporting it, and meaning, listening to other writers, doing what I need to, volunteering, like support, it comes in a lot of different ways. So I'm excited for what's to come. And of course, for the hard work that they've all done in the past. You don't get to where they are now without a lot of the work that they have already done. So I'm excited for what's coming, and I applaud the hard work that they are doing. So other playwrights that aren't involved with Antaeus, I would say, do what I did. So if you're standing on the sidelines, and number one, if you are a complainer, or a person that comes from a place of complaining about the change, they're not being changed, then I think this is a time for you to, open your mouth and get involved. And again, get involved however you can. It may not be from writing, it may be volunteering, it may be listening, it may be showing up, it may be whatever it is, but I think it's important now to show up, to get involved, to get close. I think we are all needed right now to not be standing on the sidelines and either this is bad, oh, I hate it, or keeping our mouths closed, which is what I did a lot before. I was like, oh, I'm not political. I don't know what I want to say. I don't want to speak up. I'll just stay over here. No, there's no more time for that. And we need to, so I just keep saying, we just need to get close, comment, make yourself known, give yourself a voice. And I just, all I can say is this, like, we just need to keep coming together rather than being off on our own, trying to figure things out. As of now, I think that Antaeus is a great partner in the community because of the many things that they do. Besides just, literally putting on plays, which is a feat in itself, there's a multitude of programs from, and I'm not sure exactly what's public and what's not, but for example, they have a book club where they speak about different pieces. They dissect plays. There's other things within the community that they do. And so it's not just this sort of this boxed thing of like, this is our world and this is what we're doing and we're only serving ourselves. It seems as though the goal has always been to serve the community, to serve with things that are important and things that are done well. It's one thing to like put something on and it's not of quality, because then it's like, oh, that was terrible and I paid for it. But in a sense, it's of quality that is serving a purpose of not just entertaining, but educating and lifting a lot of people. And I mean, behind the scenes, actors, stage directors, all of this stuff, like lifting everyone up and going like this to the community. So I think that that's why they are important to the Los Angeles theater scene. These theater companies are so important because it's entertainment. I mean, there's so theater that even when plays are not, super diverse or super inclusive or whatever, there's always a message. There's always something that can be learned. And whether it comes from joy or from pain or some crazy story, there's always something that touches your spirit or your soul. And that's just why theater is important and why we literally has to exist in life. And so, if we don't support this sort of thing, I know it's cliche, but literally like something dies, like something, we have to do it. I have no other words except to say that we cannot let theater die. We cannot let the experience die. We can't let, even with COVID, again, if we have to be outside sitting in somebody's backyard, doing a play, we must do it. It's not an option not to, because art is our life. It speaks for us. It speaks to us. It helps us be better human beings. So yeah, I can only speak from my own perspective and my involvement, getting involved at the time that I did. And so I do feel that this company is really just trying to be the change that we are all asking for. And in some cases demanding, as a person of color, a lot of us have been excluded for a long time. And I just feel that this company is making changes to just recognize it, even just to recognize it and say that this is a problem and how are we going to address it, I think is a big step. And yeah, I'm not sure how to, I appreciate the efforts that are being made to speak about the change that Los Angeles theater, I believe, needs. And so I'm very happy that this company is doing that and to be a part of it. I am Pepper Chambers. And if you enjoyed this conversation, please walk your way over, get your way over, run over, click over, do whatever you need to do to enjoy the Zip Code plays and everything else that is offered with this lovely theater company. Thank you.